What's up guys, it's Scher talking and welcome back to my channel. On today's video, let's discuss something very interesting. You know about Tribe 9, that gacha RPG that I actually tried for a while that was designed by Romancing Saga Universe developers? Well, that game got an EOS before 3 months. And now we have an article here that says Tribe 9 creators didn't want the game to go down in history as that project that flopped in 3 months. Because they actually did. Which is why they're working for free to complete this story. As the creator of Tribe 9 Transmedia franchise, Kazutaka Kodaka is not happy about the RPG adaptation being remembered as a flop. Well, the gacha game is like a sequel to the anime that was released on Crunchyroll. That's why it's considered a transmedia franchise. Back in May, Akatsuki Games abruptly announced that the free-to-play RPG Tribe 9 will prematurely shut down in November 27. This news came only 3 months after the game launched and exceeded 10 million downloads worldwide. Downloads means nothing in the gacha gaming because people download, test, sometimes they even have to download again when they are re-rolling. And the game also had a terrible launch because it was, if I'm not mistaken, 0.3% chance to get an SSR. In response, the creator of the franchise original concept, 2Kyo Games head, Kazutaka Kodaka, established Neon Tribe, an independent group dedicated to continuing and completing the story. The story was also a problem. It had a very slow start and also used 2D graphics and required you to keep walking and doing almost nothing before I could really play the game. That was one of the worst starts of a gacha in my opinion. Co-founded alongside Tribe 9's former producer Shuhei Yamaguchi and scenario writer Katsunori Sujinaka, Neon Tribe has received permission from Akatsuki Games, who still owns the IP, of course it worth nothing now, to publish a non-profit, unofficial doujin series depicting the rest of the Tribe 9 story. Actually, this is even worse when you think that it took like at least 3 years for them to make this game and flop so fast. This is quite an unprecedented move, especially given that Kodaka and his team won't be earning a dime from the project. It's not really an unprecedented move because Tales of Christoria also had manga, but it was official, not unofficial, but still made by the original devs, but here they are not trying to profit from it, either through direct readership or throughout merchandise. Automaton recently interviewed Neon Tribe founders to find out more about why they are volunteering to do this. To be honest, eventually when the story starts running, it is pretty interesting. If you like 2Kyo games or Spike Chunsoft games and visual novels, you can have some fun. While Kodaka created the original concept and characters of Tribe 9 multimedia franchise, which also has an anime from 2022, he has not directly involved in the development of Akatsuki Games' free-to-play title. Still, the sudden EOS announcement was disappointing enough for him to take matters in his own hands. The scenario was handled by Akatsuki. I personally had very little to do with it. I made sure to avoid promoting Tribe 9 in a way that would suggest that I was the original creator, so that would overshadow the actual development team. I supported the project, but kept a distance. That said, the game itself looked really entertaining, and I was honestly planning to wail on it. Japanese players wail easily. After I was done working on the 100th line, Last Defense Academy. But then came the shutdown notice, which I felt was a shame. As you would expect, players started telling me, you created it, so do something. While I do remember thinking, if you are going to start a story, you should see it throughout the end. I knew Akatsuki was in no position to do so. At the same time, I hated the idea of the world building and characters I created being reduced to that game that lasted only 3 months. I also didn't want fans left with only disappointment from an incomplete story. So, with 2Q Games being a smaller studio with more freedom and leeway, we decided to take Akatsuki Games scenario and see it through the completion. That was the only path left. And well, as the president of the game company, I felt it would be interesting to work on something like this for free. Yamaguchi, who quit Akatsuki after Tribe 9 discontinuation was announced, likewise felt it was a shame for the game to be cut short, particularly as this lowered the reputation for the franchise as a whole. Yeah, no one will want to watch the anime after that. I felt that Tribe 9 has tremendous potential and I think the anime turned out to be something really exciting. That's why, to be honest, I cannot quite accept how it's currently being evaluated. There were so many characters planned to appear in the game down the line, and so many storylines we had prepared, and yet it's scheduled to end before any of that gets shown. So I feel like the work as a whole has not really been given the evaluation it deserves. Release it as a console game then. By launching New Neon Tribe, Kodaka, Yamaguchi, and Suginara hope to rewrite Tribe 9's unfortunate story, as Kodaka puts it. In terms of my own legacy, having Tribe 9 remembered only as a game that shut down after 3 months will be incredibly frustrating. I want to give the whole ordeal a conclusion along the lines of, even after the shutdown, the creators themselves wrote the end of the story, published it, and became legends. They won't become legends. No one cares so much about this to say something like that. Sorry. That would be a kind of a personal reward for me. Almost like a Medal of Honor. I'm honestly not looking at it from a business owner perspective at all. That's really good of you. Tribe 9 is available for free for PC, Steam, iOS, Android until November 27. The members of New Neon Tribe encourage fans to play throughout the story chapters while the game is still available, as their doujin work will continue from where the game left off. That's kinda dumb. They should really start from scratch, because the game won't be available forever, and they would take like months and months and months to publish the full story. Start from the beginning, please. Don't do something like that. Okay, so that's the article, guys. What do you think about it all? Have you tried Tribe 9? I did. The game was cool as a console game, and I was playing like that, but it was not the type of game I wanted to go back to it after a full day of work, or a game that I wanted to grind every day. Many gacha games forget that they still need reasons for you to come back, and needed better rates. That game launched with a 0.3% chance of an SSR, and that was way too low, even comparing to 2025 standards. I enjoyed the title for a little, but didn't want to keep playing and stopped playing before the EOS announcement. And what about you? Did you enjoy? Are you still playing? I doubt. Say here in the comment section. Thank you so much for watching this. Please subscribe if you haven't, and if you want to support the channel, you have links on the description. Thank you so much, and don't forget to join our Discord server as well. I hope to see you soon in the next video or live stream. Goodbye.